You said that you're at the moment not in a team, not at work. And I just want to make the point that whenever we talk about relationships at work, implicitly we mean at work and beyond. Because I think we're all humans in the end. So whatever works at work between humans will work also in private relationships. So hopefully this is very much applicable for all of you, both in work and in private.
And we're taking the word leadership beyond the professional context and more about who you are.
Personal.
So it's about leadership in your life, leadership in your relationships. So with that said, we're going to jump into the alignment parts of the afternoon. And with that, we'd like to start by introducing you to something that has helped for both of us dramatically in our relationships. It is a concept that we consider to be one of the secrets of miraculous relationships. I use the word miraculous is because it's something that I live by every day, and something that has massively helped me, and I'm very passionate to share this with you today. Together with Mark, we use this a lot. And it's a concept that we want to give credit to Steve Chandler, who is a success coach. And he's come up with yoga. Yeah, we're getting ready to write something.
I just thought I'll write it while you say it.
Okay,
sorry
okay.
if I jumped in.
No, that's cool. I just wanted to make sure that we're good. So basically, as human beings, we have two choices in how we relate with others. We can relate through agreements or through expectations. So before we explain what this means, we're going to give you a little story to bring it into kind of context. And so it's agreements, which we've kind of talked about today, and expectations. Has someone heard of this distinction before?
I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. I'm not worried about. I'm more concerned about the fact that you rubbed off my intimacy. We've got to find a way to keep that on the wall. What we would like is to actually just fill the wall with all that, with kind of all the stuff that we have, so at the end we can have a.
Really do that for us. So we make sure that intimacy is somewhere.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. So let's. I think we need to make an agreement, Mark, that we kind of don't rub off the stuff that's on the wall. So at the end, our participants can look at the wall and get all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sorry for that, Mark.
Hey, no worries. So Mark, do you want to kind of lead us into a story?
Yeah, we thought the best thing to do to introduce this is with a little example and an applied example, which will make this hopefully much clearer. So consider this situation, which I'm sure you might have been familiar in the past. I'm going to write something more. So what you see often in companies is that, and in private relationships, they're very much driven by expectations. And people have expectations about what they want other people to do, implicit or explicit. And so consider this situation. We have a production department with John, who's the head. And we have Max here, who's his foreman down in production. So we talked to John, and John is very, very frustrated because once again, the job that he had his team down the production floor to get done was not done in time. So John had promised his customer that the product will be ready and shipped on Monday. So it had to be ready at the plant on Friday. And Max only delivered it on Thursday the week after. So John is usually frustrated because what did happen? Well, he promised the thing to be ready for his customer on Monday. It was only delivered on Thursday, so eventually the customer switched provider and left it. And so we go to John, we talk to John, and I say, well, John, so tell me what happened. What happened? What went wrong? And John says, well, it just sucks, you know. Again and time and again, you know, that happens in this company. That, you know, I told Max, and he had it in his email, you know. He knew that the customer needed it on Monday, so it had to be ready on Friday. And still, what does he do? He doesn't deliver.
So who can relate to this sort of scenario? But we've all kind of seen this before. It's nothing unusual.
And so now here's the thing. So I asked John, so just one question. So tell me, what was the agreement you had with Max on the matter of getting this thing to the customer on Monday? And John says, like, what do you mean? What agreement I had? What are you talking about? Max knew he had to have it ready on Friday. I told him, I wrote him an email, he knew it. So what are you talking about? Agreement? Do I need to go there and hold hands? I mean, we're all professionals, so you know, he knew what he had to do, so if there's an issue, he could come up with and tell me. What's the problem? And I tell him, well, John, here's the thing. What you had is an expectation. You didn't have an agreement with Max, you had an expectation. You expected him to have his stuff ready on Friday so you could deliver it on Monday. And here's the thing, expectations don't work.
So actually, mostly we walk around expectations after expectations, people, tasks, and expectations are the biggest cause of disappointment. There is no joy that can happen through expectation. The best case scenario is you can meet an expectation and so what? You've met the expectation. Great. So,
can I take over?
Take over.
Because I'd like to bring that point home a little later.
Okay.
That's why it takes the joy out of my life. But I'd like to stick first to the story, which is that one of the bad impacts of expectations is that people don't like to live up to expectations. They actually hate that others have expectations of them and don't care about their situation. So maybe Max, you know, is short, you know, on people, and you know, and he's understaffed. So and John doesn't seem to care. He just expects of Max